and welcome to That's the Joy. This is the channel where we get to listen, learn, and grow from great inspiring stories told by women in business. So if you're new here, karibu sana, head over and subscribe to my channel. And if you've been here before, thank you so much for watching and stay tuned for so much more coming your way. Today we are all the way in Isinya. We have come to see a lady who is passionate about gardening and plants. Me, I've never seen a lady passionate like this. So, without further ado, I'd like her to introduce herself. Karibu sana.
Thank you so much. Hi guys, and thank you so much, Joy.
Yeah.
I'm Alice.
Yes.
Alice Migwi.
Yes.
And yes, as you say, I live in Isenya.
Yes.
And gardening is who I am.
Wow.
Yeah. Gardening is really
You guys should
who
see
I
this
am.
home. Yes.
Thank you.
Tell us a little bit about the journey. How did it start? When did you start with one plant? You know, as we call ourselves plant moms, but we have like two plants.
Yeah, there's two plant moms.
So how did this journey start?
Yeah, okay. So this journey started in about 2013, so maybe a little over 10 years ago.
Okay.
Before that, I was nowhere near anywhere plants. Maybe when I was growing up, I can start there. When I was growing up, when I was a young girl, I used to have a lot of fascination for certain plants that I don't see a lot today, like the mimosa, the plant which you touch and then it sleeps. You know, you touch the leaves, it sleeps, and so it's called a mimosa. And other plants that they really used to fascinate me. But then, you know, life happens and you go to school, you go to work. And so I was in corporate and nowhere near gardening or plants as such. And so that wasn't part of my life. But then 2013, I just started, you know, had a small kitchen garden, grew veggies, and it's quite a story. But at the end of the day, my love for plants just blossomed into what it is today. So I've had quite a journey in the whole gardening world. I've had a lot of failures, a lot of successes, a lot of joys, a lot of downs, but it's been an amazing journey, and I'm truly grateful and humbled to be here.
Okay.
For sure. Yeah.
So Alice, as we are very interested in knowing how you managed to turn the passion into something commercial.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think that's quite fascinating, you know, starting from a kitchen garden, and then now, you know, doing all the things that you do now that you'll talk to us about. Maybe you can tell us how you managed to do that.
Yeah. So when I started the kitchen garden, I had some extra veggies that I started supplying restaurants, and I got fully fledged into vegetable supply to hotels.
Oh, okay.
So I used to supply some big hotels in Nairobi, and also some in Malindi. And then because of business being business, you know, a lot of them take credit for a long period of time. The cash flows were not working, and so that particular business had to shut down because it just couldn't thrive. And then you know, having come from corporate, so I had worked for 15 years in corporate, and the way you see business from a corporate perspective and from when you're doing it for yourself, it's totally different world. So I think I went with a very corporate mindset into that business. And so I took a step back and started thinking about how to become a small business owner. So humbling myself to become a small business owner, and saying, what can I do with the small I have? Because I really went big, and it really stretched me. And so I started thinking, you know, in different ways. I even had a small restaurant in Westlands where I had a garden, and I would sell. Would make the food that we were growing in the garden, and from there is where I saw an opportunity to service small spaces, because a lot of people would come and see and are like, oh, you know, you're growing so much food in such a small space, how can I do that? And so again, the restaurant didn't go as planned, and that was fine. And so I started to do garden installations for the small spaces. So I would go balconies, install gardens, and so on and so forth. And then I would sell plants. I used to go to markets and sell succulents and plants, potted plants, and that's just how I grew, you know. And as that grew, I felt a lot of people entered into the industry. There's a lot of plant sellers now, apart from the guys who sell on the road who've always been there. But there's a lot of plant shops, garden stores.
Yeah.
And I felt that there was a big opportunity in education because people buy plants but they don't really know how to care for them.
Yeah, for sure.
And then when you go online,
Yeah.
and you Google,
Yes.
you'll find information that's relevant to the US or the
Yes.
UK and Europe.
Yes,
So
yes.
there's no localized information
Yeah.
about how to grow plants.
Mhm.
And again, I felt, wow, this is
A gap.
this is a gap.
Yes.
This is a problem, and I can solve it
Mhm.
by providing the education on that.
Mhm.
And so I ventured out of selling plants. I don't sell plants anymore. And now I provide education. So I train, I teach people how to do various aspects of gardening, whether it's community groups, whether it's individuals, whether it's children. So I do have quite a number of classes that I do. I also do bespoke, which means you can tell me specifically what you want to learn, and I'll curate a course for you.
Oh.
And then I'll teach you. Yeah. So like just this morning, I had a virtual class on drought tolerant plants that I was teaching some students. So I also teach people how to get into the business of selling plants, how to start, how to go, how to care for them. And there's a lot within the whole gardening world. So I also do composting. I have a composting place here. So I'll take you to see. So I also do composting, which I have tested by the government labs, making sure that the nutrient is within the required standards. So I do that. And I do sell the compost as well as a product. We also manufacture an organic input using fish waste. It's not in the market yet. We're just formulating it and making sure that it meets the standards, and we're doing trials and tests in the shamba. So that's really what I do. So I love teaching because I learn a lot from my students. I learn a lot about the local, the microclimates. So I can be growing something here that does really well, but next door or 2 doors down, or maybe somewhere else in Nairobi or somewhere else, it won't do well because of the microclimate and other factors that come into that. I'm also a little bit of a nerd, so I like the science behind gardening.
Is that your background?
So it's not my educational background, but I have learned. I have a lot of it is self-taught, although I have also done courses, official courses on it, and I spend a lot of time on YouTube learning the different courses. I've done soil food web consultancy course. I did that, and it was very, very interesting to learn about the dynamics of the soil, which is where gardening begins. It's really the heart and soul of gardening. And so I really love the soil. So that's just my journey, and it's been quite interesting, and I really thank God that I have a space where I can apply my learning. So I'm not just teaching from a theoretical perspective or point of view. I'm teaching you from a point of information where I have tried it, I have tested it, I know what I'm talking about because I've done it. So that's a great privilege that I don't take for granted.
For sure. I'm so interested in how you have moved into these different seasons. Was there a waiting period? Was there a time where you were not sure what to do with the gardening, what direction to take? I think when you're passionate about something, it gets to a point you have like I don't know what you call it. It's like a break, like a season where you have to think and strategize how to move from it, to be what it is today. So how did you go through that?
Okay, so you're right. In life, there's always seasons where sometimes things get tough. And for me, that season was transitioning from employment to entrepreneurship. And then also coupled with entering an entrepreneurship with a mindset of employment. And so the failures of that really set me back, because I felt like maybe I don't know what I'm doing. And also at the same time, when I started now going to do garden installations, I was a gardener. And so the way people would treat me is, this is just a gardener, and you've come from an office to becoming a gardener. It's a very, very humbling experience. Very humbling. and then my colleagues at the time were my fellow gardeners, you know. So it's a very humbling experience because it just shows you that life is not a title, life is not a job title, life is not you know, it's just being human beings. And that, you know, that was quite a humbling experience. And also at the same time learning how to do business and how to run a small business profitably without any external funding, you know. And so learning to make 1 shilling, make another shilling, make another shilling. And so that has also been quite an interesting journey and difficult, very difficult, I must say. Because there are times you really second guess yourself. You know, you feel like people can see you when you're broke.
Yes.
You know, you feel like
it will be written on your forehead.
Yeah, people can see you in debt. You know, you feel like people are judging you, you know. And now being able to take out all those thoughts and being true to yourself and saying, I'm being true to myself and believing in myself has been the biggest gift that I've been able to achieve up until now.
So which year was this? Sorry. Which year was this transition from a corporate to full-time entrepreneur?
So that was, I left corporate in 2012. So 2013.
Oh,
is
13.
when
Okay.
I
Okay.
But at the time I can't say I had good savings, so it didn't really feel like a big transition.
Okay.
So when I truly transitioned into small business was 2017.
Okay. 5 years. How many years? 4 years
About
later.
4
After
years
that,
later.
Okay.
So 2017 to 2019 was difficult, I would say. It was really starting from scratch, having lost a lot, and now saying, okay, I'm starting from scratch. And it's just being honest and true to yourself, as difficult as it is. And now I can look back and say it confidently, but at the time I really didn't feel like that. And so one of the other things that I learned to do is I learned to teach myself to learn a lot of skills. So what do I mean by that? I mean that I don't just do gardening. I do other things to increase my income.
Yes,
you know,
of course,
stream, right?
Yeah.
So I do a lot. I learn a lot online. I do a lot of learning. I'm always learning. In fact, even my daughters are always, Mom, you're always learning. And now I'm always telling them, you need to be always learning.
Yes.
So it's key to have different skills. And what do I mean by that? So like one of the skills that I learned, and I learned through my husband, because he's in marketing, he's been in advertising and communications for many years. So I worked with him and for him, and I learned a lot about that particular industry. And now I have my own agency.
Yes.
Where I have clients. You know, I learned web design, so I do web design for clients. I do digital marketing, and I do, you know, so many things, and I'm constantly learning.
Yes.
And so that has helped me to have additional income streams.
Yes.
Where gardening is not necessarily my bread and butter. And so I'm able to do it from the depth of my heart.
Yes.
Because
there's no pressure
so much about the money.
Yes.
And you know, there's a video where Oprah says, you know, do what you love and the money will flow. And I'm telling you, that is true. So with now the gardening side of things, the clients and the money comes. They just come. And it is because I honestly do it from the depth of my heart. And clients come. I'm not marketing, and I'm not trying to toot my horn or anything.
Yes.
So I don't really market my gardening because I'm still like, it has to be perfect. You know, why you have that baby, you're like, no, I'm not really ready for the world to see and judge. It has to be perfect.
Yes.
And so I'm still there, but I have clients.
Yes.
You know, I'm booked a lot for my trainings.
You have a book.
I have written 4 books.
Imagine.
So
can we see these books?
Yeah, sure.
Yeah.
So these are 3 of the books. So I'll start with this one. This is called Planting the Future.
Wow.
So this is a book that I wrote in for the Kenya Horticultural Society.
Okay.
They were celebrating their centenary, 100 years in Kenya, and they wanted to make an impact. And so, you know, I had a discussion with them, and we said I could write a book that could guide students and distributed in schools, in high schools, to teach students about gardening.
Yes.
but more as a career choice. Like
Yes.
there's so much within gardening.
Yes.
And unfortunately, like in Kenya,
Mhm.
if you say, oh, I'm a gardener or a farmer, it's like a poor man's
Yes.
career.
Yes. Yeah.
It's the one thing I remember during COVID.
Mhm.
People went to farming because it was like, oh, we need some money.
Yes.
Let's grow food.
Yes.
Everybody eats food. It's like it's normally the plan B of the poor man's career.
Yeah.
And so from what I've seen in terms of the opportunities that are there, there is a lot. There is a lot that can be done. People can actually make it a career. And when you start early, you can grow and develop into an amazing career path. Whether you're going into employment or doing it for yourself. There's a lot to do. There are so many concepts within gardening. And then there is a lot of tools now where you can learn, and where you can continue to improve your skills.
And YouTube is there.
YouTube is there. AI is there. There's so many things.
Yes.
So the purpose of this book is just to inspire.
Wow. I like the title.
Yeah,
Planting the Future.
To inspire.
Yes.
So it does provide, basic gardening knowledge because it's good to start from somewhere. And then it also it has a chapter here that talks about the different careers.
Okay.
So this comes with a teacher's guide. I don't have the teacher's guide with me.
Okay.
But it has a teacher's guide or a facilitator's guide that can guide them to the students to go through the book. And so we are distributing it in high schools in Kenya. Then these other two books I've written with a colleague of mine, Migwi. This is on, let me start with this one. This is called The Circle of Life, Transforming Waste into Wonder through Composting. This is just composting. It's about waste management in the home, in institutions, in farms. So waste is a topic that people don't fully appreciate in terms of the impact. Waste, there's a lot of opportunity in waste, and we really discard our waste irresponsibly, but not out of our fault, but because we don't know better. So like for example, your kitchen waste, the kitchen food waste, that is gold, that people just throw away, because if you compost it and then you feed it to your plants, you will not need to buy any other inputs to put on your plants. You feed the soil and the soil will feed your plants, So those are the opportunities within waste. And the purpose of this book is to, again, education, right?
Yes,
so it's to educate the general public on how to manage the waste.
Okay.
Yeah. And then this one is called the Bokashi method, a sustainable solution to food waste. This one is about food waste, cooked food waste, and the food waste that you cannot mix and compost within your bin in the kitchen because it will attract rodents and smells and stuff like meat, dairy, and the cooked food which has oil and stuff. So the Bokashi method is a very specific fermentation that you can do, that you can process your waste so that then you break it down fast before you have to compost it.
Okay.
So that's this book. Then the other book I have in the works is for worm farming, vermicomposting that can be done again in small spaces, in bigger spaces.
Oh, okay.
So so that's the waste trilogy, as I call them.
Wow. Quite an impact. Quite an impact.
Yeah.
So when it comes to balancing, home life and being a full-time researcher like you are, how have you managed to do that? Is it a culture in the home? How have you managed to cultivate that? Yes.
Okay, I think one of the things that's made it easier now is my children are big. So my last one is 15. So I have 3 daughters. So my last is 15. So, because of that level of independence, there's not much in terms of demand on me.
Yes.
There is in terms of time, so we can sit together like on the dining table and have a conversation in the midst of working.
Yes.
So I work mainly from home, and that allows me the time to be able to spend time with my children,
to be there,
to be present, even if I could be working.
Yes.
I have a grandson who's 3, and when he's here, then I do create very intentional pockets of time to spend with him. Just getting to know him, and because I have daughters and he's a grandson, I feel like a new mom, learning new things about this child. because I think raising boys and girls is
Different, yeah.
So it's such a blessing, and
Wow.
and it's really something that I don't take for granted. But I'm very, very aware that I'm very blessed. I'm
Wow.
very aware of
Yes.
it and very conscious, and I'm very, very grateful.
Thank you.
And so I do, you know, I'm constantly in gratitude of every moment I have, because I know I can spend time with my children and my grandson as I want, and I can work from wherever, you know. So if we say let's go out and have some lunch, I'll work for 30 minutes and we'll eat for 30 minutes, and just we have the luxury to do that.
Yeah.
So that's definitely how I balance.
That's beautiful.
And then again, we don't have like a living help or anything, so we work together around the house. Like when you came in, my husband was preparing food,
yeah.
So we work together, you know, he'll do the food, I'll, you know, do the other, daughter does this, that, and that helps us as a family as
yes,
well,
absolutely.
to bond, you know, and to spend time together. Yeah, so that's the balancing that we're grateful for.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
That's beautiful.
Yeah.
And I'd also like to know about your success story of one of your students, who you have probably journeyed with, who you have trained.
Yeah.
Do you have someone you'd say, this is my job, this is my my training?
I have several.
I know you have several.
I do, but there's one, and
Yes.
it's funny. She's my sister-in-law.
Wow.
And I'm very, very proud of her. And I'll tell you why.
Yeah.
We started walking with her, her journey. They were building and they moved to their home, not too far from here actually. And she started farming. Her farm is big, and you know, so we helped her design the farm. You know, start the planting, go through the process, and we walked with her throughout the journey of growing for a year. I think it was almost 2 years. Yeah, I would say that. I just walked with her throughout season after season, and we saw her grow from strength to strength. And then we did her landscaping with her. And in our teaching, I don't do the work for you. I teach you how to do it, and then you do it. So that's why I'm very proud of her, because we taught her, and then she did it, and she's very successful. So now she's selling veggies. You know, she's very busy
on a commercial scale.
She's commercialized her business, you know, and she sells her vegetables, and she's able to do planning season after season, and she's able to grow very beautiful veggies. Her home is so beautiful, and you know, I am just really, really proud of her, you know, and having seen that journey. And because she's a woman, you know, like me, who retired, she retired from work herself, and she needed something to do. And I was like, imagine, don't make this thing like the plan B, the one of, so it's a retirement, let me just do this, you know, as I'm waiting for the end. No, it became now
the plan A.
New, it became a whole new life, you know. And so that's one student I'm very, very proud of.
Wow. That's beautiful.
Yeah.
Now I'd like us to go and see some of your work in the garden. Shall we?
Yes, we shall.
Thank you, guys. Can you come with us? To make a big produce.
Yeah.
That is very powerful, you know.
Yeah.
Wow. So you're saying my balcony can give me some.
I had a client who, she was in Westlands, and she had a small balcony. Let me leave the Westlands one. Let me tell you another one of Kilimani. Her balcony is small. Hey, I'll show you. Very small. She was growing plants. She was growing food. She was not buying veggies.
What?
Hey, I don't even know how to talk about her. She's so Yani. She was doing the most.
And it's a small balcony.
Kwanza has is very small, very, very small, tiny.
And she has chosen to grow.
And she has chosen to grow veggies.
Imagine.
Then there's another one who she was an expert, and she was in
they love salads. Sizo macucumber, macarrot, manini.
Ma lettuce. Hizo.
Yeah, Liz. So unipatie nini njia ya kufanya hivyo? Si ndio? For my balcony, I really want my balcony to produce something.
It can. It can.
So that we forget about going to the shop all the time.
Yeah, you can do your tudania.
Yeah.
There are things you can do.
Okay, so this is the kumbe ziko hapa hizi vitu zetu. What?
I need to explain this
Sisi tu-
nursery so people can understand why it
Okay.
looks the way it looks.
No, it's okay.
Shaggy.
No, it's okay. It's neat. Alice. This is a neat guy.
Sunflower.
Oh,
There.
I'm seeing there are also sunflowers there.
Yeah.
Okay. Tell us about those.
So the sunflowers are really to attract pollinators. I'm very big on pollination
Okay.
and just increasing the biodiversity of the species within here. So I have loads of birds. We have a lot of bird species.
Yeah.
And so so the sunflowers are really just to get the bees coming in, the birds coming in, and finding something interesting for them.
Oh.
And sunflowers are beautiful.
Yeah, they are
Yeah,
absolutely.
so I'm constantly growing sunflowers. So it's what I call my pollinator hotspots.
Oh.
Get them to come in. So whatever I'm growing in the garden is sorted out by the pollinators that are fed by this plant.
Okay. And do you also keep birds?
No.
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 As of now, no.
No. The birds I keep are the wild ones.
Oh,
The ones that bring themselves.
Okay.
Yeah.
So here we are.
So here we are.
Yes.
I'll just show you the different ways in which we do composting. So this is a composting station.
Yes.
And I'll start with the smallest. So here we have the kitchen waste. So this is where we put all our kitchen waste. So this can actually work on like a balcony this size, if your balcony has space for something as big as this, but you can even compost something as small as this.
Okay.
Yeah, so this is where we process our kitchen waste.
Okay.
And then these big ones is where we do the garden waste. And I also compost goat manure, sheep goat manure.
Yes.
And that's what you see covered there and here.
Okay.
And though the sheep goat manure is what we sell. So so we process it, have it tested in the labs, and then we pack it and sell it.
Okay.
Yeah.
Wow,
Yeah.
Alice. I don't even have words. Then the other one?
Then
the fish, sorry.
There's
one you had said the fish.
Oh yeah, I'll show you.
Yeah.
But this is the worms. These are the worms. So here. So worm compost is, so we use these worms. You can see them.
You can see them.
You can see these worms. Regular worms. And we use them to compost the goat manure and the garden waste as well. So we do feed them with this. And then the purpose of this is to produce something called worm castings, which is a very high nutrient compost that we feed the plants with in the garden.
Oh.
Yeah, so it's like a manure of sorts.
Yeah.
So it's like a manure of sorts. And then, but with this, you can also use them to compost your kitchen waste, like in a small space.
Yeah.
Like you can have this in a bin in your kitchen.
Yeah.
And then you feed them with your kitchen waste. And it breaks it down. So you can do that as well.
Oh.
Yeah. So that's what this is for production of that. And we just cover it because they don't like light.
Okay.
Yeah, so we just cover
they
them
don't like
and
light.
Yeah, they don't like lights.
So usually package. This one you don't package. This is used for reusing.
Yeah, this is for us.
This is really for us. Yeah.
Okay. But not yet. When our worm population is big enough, then we'll be able to sell. That's the ambition.
Okay.
So to continue. So we are really continuing to grow the worm population.
Okay.
So that then we can be able to sell the vermicompost, which is the compost that they produce.
Okay.
And the worms themselves.
Oh.
Yeah. So
okay.
So we are growing them. We started with one, and now we have base. So yeah, so I think we'll grow it to as far as we can.
Great.
Wow.
This is where you do your science.
Yeah.
It's this one. What has fallen?
No, it's this here.
Oh, okay. Wow, this is where you do the experiments.
Yes. So this is
Hey!
my lab where I do my experiments and my things.
Guys, are you seeing this is passion? Aki kusema tu ukweli. This is passion, guys. This is passion.
Yeah. So yes.
Oh.
So that's, I opened it and it shouldn't have so much oxygen. Yeah. Yeah. So this is where I'm cooking the fish amino acid. And in there and in there. So when it cooks, yeah, we extract it, test it, and then pack it.
Oh.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Alice.
So,
And you're saying your background was not in science?
no, it was not. No. But now it is.
Now it
me.
is your. Yes,
Yeah.
this is science
It
now.
is, yeah, it is. So
Wow.
it's quite interesting to learn this way.
Okay.
Yeah.
Wow.
This is what I call my lab.
Absolutely. This is a lab.
Yeah.
Okay.
So hopefully in the future I get a microscope, so I'm able to do a bit more that.
Yeah.
But yeah.
Whoever who's watching, please. Alice needs microscopes.
Yes.
Bring for her microscopes. How many do you need? How many, Alice? Like how many?
One.
Just one. Okay.
One, yeah.
Whoever who's watching, guys, please. But this is amazing. This is amazing, Alice. Wow, I'm so grateful for welcoming us to your home, to your safe space, to your zen space with all the plants. It's been such a pleasure, Alice, getting to see what passion can do and what it can translate into. I know there is greater heights you plan to soar, and we are here for it. Why not? We are here for it. We are here for it. So I just want to know, how can guys reach you for the trainings or social media? How can they get in contact with you if they need any training or education?
Okay, so one, I can just say my website is gardenology.co.ke, and then my number is 0717 679 178. And yeah, I think those are the two ways you can reach me. So that number, you can reach me on phone or WhatsApp. And then for the website, if you go, you can see more of what I do. You can see I've written some blog articles. I'm trying to provide education there as well.
Okay.
And it may not be as doesn't have that much content, but then it has some content that I think people can appreciate already.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah.
So guys, that's it from us today. I hope you have enjoyed this video. I know you have enjoyed this video. There's a lot to learn from Alice. Kindly reach out to her. So thank you so much for watching, and stay tuned for the next one. See you. Bye.
Bye.